Hey everybody, another live stream. So make sure you comment so I can add your name to the list. We have 3 people, Asmin, J Boy, Richard. And you could win a $20 Amazon gift card. I do 2 every Saturday. Yeah, Asmin, you mentioned 2 tickers on the TSX. The other one I did already. It was an airline financing company. What's the name of that airline finance? They rent out planes. Cargo jet, yeah. It didn't get that many views. I did it in July. I don't want to redo it, but Yacero. Kevin. M. Taylor. You ever feel once you learn a lot about the stock market, you suddenly realize how much you don't know? Every time you hit a point when okay, I got it. You figured it out. Like now I understand how to make money. Then something else happens and you're like, okay, I don't really know anything. So that happens with me all the time. So once you figure something out and then another wrinkle comes into the equation. This is the Q, Capital Powers. It trades on TSX. It also trades OTC. And Cleveland Cliffs, which is a pretty popular stock now. It's a steel company. I think they pay a good dividend also. Carvana, which is really interesting. They sell used cars. It was up a lot. It was up like 30x since IPO, but it's still up 12x. And then Sabanye. I was trying to think of an analogy, how to explain like why, because I sent an email out saying commodities don't go up over time like a stock does. And somebody wrote, they do go up over time because of inflation. But that wasn't the point. Everything goes up over time if you consider inflation. And then so my point was, oil it goes up and down. It can't go straight up forever because there's like kind of a supply and demand come into the equation, and it's just the commodities just generally go up and down. Like it can't go up forever. Over time it will go up, but not like a stock will. A stock won't. A stock could 100x, and then it could still keep going up. Where if it gets too high gold, it comes down. So I was trying to think of a way to explain it which would make sense. You ever see those games? Like you, it is a game show, but they also do on a Price is Right. Like if they have a deck of cards and then like say a jack comes out. say there's a jack, and the person had to say higher or lower, right? And then, of course, they would probably say lower. And then if the next card that comes out is a three of hearts, then they'll say higher, right? Um, so, so at this point, like ignoring any external factors in the world, I'm thinking oil is like at a queen. Maybe it's a jack. But even if it's a jack, in terms of how expensive it is, would you go higher if you had to guess? No, you wouldn't, right? It wouldn't make sense to pick higher because there's not much options, right? To go higher, so you would go lower. So that's how I think of it, oil now. I'm not saying you have to sell your oil, but I'm just saying if you buy into oil now or oil stock, there's much more potential of it coming down. Of course, you can still peel a queen or a king. That's possible. But I'm saying if you ignore all the external factors that are going on, if you can like identify the war going on and you could predict future things going on, but nobody can predict that. It's almost impossible. So that's all I'm saying. But if you own like stock in like an oil company, there's no reason to sell because you collect your dividends, which is fine. But if you buy into an oil company, your cost basis is going to be high. Of course, if you're holding 20, 30 years, then it doesn't matter, right? Not that it doesn't matter, but I mean, you don't want to invest in UCO or USO. Is UCO the double leverage one, or like I did that video on which one is double leveraged? Yeah, UCL is double the price of oil. I did that video on UCO. Come on. And USO, trying to explain how historically you can't make money. You can't make money over time with these stocks. And then people were like laughing at me saying, I'm making so much money, you know, because I invested in them 2 years ago, or I invested in them a year ago. You don't know what you're talking about. Hey, Ed, what's up? Well, let me add these names. Jen. Sports nut. Should I just do the raffle? Is it annoying that I'm talking? Boss Ross. Man. Mohammed. Hey, Mohammed, are you the Mohammed I spoke to the other day? We had a Zoom call? Or are you a different Mohammed? Of course, when does the oil go up for 2 straight years? It's except these past 2 straight years. I mean, it almost never happened before. But of course, yeah, you could have made money if you invested in this. But but even if you go back 5 years, look how much it's down in 5 years. It's down like 60, 70%. And if you go back, like, it's because of reverse splits. That's why it looks like it was trading at 20,000. So over time, you can't make money with leveraged ETFs, pretty much. Hey Ben. Hey Khaled. I kind of lost my print. Mohammed from Vancouver. So you are the Mohammed I spoke to, right? No, that's. I'm getting confused. No, that you're the right Mohammed. Yeah. Okay, got it. Mohammed K. Yep. Mohammed and I did a Zoom call. We did a 1-hour Zoom call. It was fun. Oil was so low. Why didn't I buy it when it was low? But that's like, I mean, who knew a war was going to happen? But sometimes, like, oil's low, or stock is low, and it trades low for like 6 years. And you're like, this is never going to turn. This is never going to be better. Like investing in like Nokia. Like it's so low, but it's been so low for 10 years now. Khaled, thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Do you expect SFT to continue the upward trajectory after being so decimated? Yeah, he's buying Occidental. I'm not saying it's a bad investment. I'm just saying it's high oil, but then he must know something. And you have to also remember, when Warren Buffett buys a stock, he's also getting other things on the side. Like, he gets additional warrants, or what do you guys think of Shift? I would probably avoid is this a SPAC? Is it a SPAC? Yeah. I would probably avoid SPACs altogether. I know it seems like they're great values, but I don't know. They really seem to struggle. First, you could do a swing trade. That's not a bad idea if you catch it on a low and sell. But these SPACs, I don't know. I don't. But of course, nothing as cheap as Himax. Yeah, I think Facebook is really cheap, but I don't know. Okay, let's okay, that doesn't count. It would. So you got to get picked twice. If you're here, comment. Or if you don't see your name on the list, comment. Okay. This doesn't count. It's gonna let me Parkesh. I think if you avoid SPACs and if you avoid stocks under 1 billion market cap, I think you'll save a lot of money in the long term. I know you may make money once or twice, but overall, you're going to probably lose more. Thanks, Woa Ryan. I appreciate it. CB350. Baba is coming up. Yes. You know what kills me? The day before Baba went up, the very day before, when it was, I thought it wasn't even in the 60s. Okay. Like the day before it shut up, I had an order, a big order on Baba I was going to put in, and I had it all set up. And then I was like, I didn't do it. I got scared. And then it shut up. I would have felt so good if I did that, but you can't win them all, I guess. Because I knew it was coming back. I think if you invested in one of these crap companies like AMC, you're probably not going to make money. But if you invest in a good company that that's low because of the fear of the government, which is understandable fear, but I'd rather put my money into a company like Alibaba than like one of these SPACs. Hard to keep up with. Look what someone wrote. It's hard to pick a bottom. I call it full. Where's that comment? Good video. With risk of delisting. Thanks very much. Also been accumulating, considering my valuation and China cap. Where is that comment? Oh, this is too many comments. I don't think maybe he deleted it. Come on. Somebody said had a negative comment on my Alibaba video. I can't remember. He was saying, why should we listen? He goes, oh, so you lost 40%. Because I said I doubled. I bought my Alibaba today. And then he goes, so you're down 40% on your investment. Why should we listen to you? It's such a stupid, people are just so stupid. Like I put out a video and then like a few days later, it's down like 10%. The stock goes, you don't know what you're talking about. But how can I possibly predict short-term? You got to give it like a few months. I'm not going to know tomorrow's. Yeah, in a few months, if I'm off, then you could say, I was wrong. Look at, I did Sabanye today. The price for a lot of 2024. So the last time I did Sabanye Stillwater, they're a mining company in South Africa. They mainly mine like platinum and palladium. They do some gold. Look, they were trading at 13.23, and my stock price was 17.24. And look at its trading at 17.62. 38 cents off. Right? 38. Well, I bought Energy Transfer a few months ago. So that's oil and gas. So no, I don't own any commodities. I did buy a lot of gold and a lot of silver right after the market crashed in March 2020. I did a video, and I was up over 100% on silver. I wouldn't buy Wader. I don't like Wader anymore. I was wrong. I took a risk. But I think something's going on with that company. Something's weird going on. I can't really figure that company out. I'm almost at 30,000 subs, so I'm not really want to do I don't want to do another portfolio reveal because my portfolio is down so much. I'm going to look like a moron, but whatever. Mohammed, Vancouver. Samir. No, it's not my day job. I had an interview the other day. I'm always wrong. It's true. $14. Muhammad gets picked twice. 22. $18 again. Muhammad, Vancouver. I'll send you $20. Actually, Mohammed, you can use that as a credit because if you want to do another Zoom session, you could pay me 80 instead of 100. No, you have to get picked twice. That's how it works. So Mohammed, Vancouver won, not Mohammed K. I know that's confusing to a lot of people, but you have to get picked twice to win a raffle. If you're a member of my Patreon channel, every day I post an Excel file, and I usually like today I was doing gold stocks. Well, Sabanye, it's in the gold industry, so I post all the gold companies because I need that for my video when I compare companies. So I send an Excel file of all the gold companies. Sometimes I'll put an Excel file like that DCF model I did. I post that onto on my Patreon. So if you remember Patreon, I can't do it in YouTube. There's no way to post videos. What's a Patreon cost? What's $4.99 for the cheapest. You could do $900 if you want, but Zim isn't too bad. It's probably one of the better shipping companies out there. It's definitely risky, but it's not nearly as risky as, look how well it's doing, as some of the other shipping companies. You're getting lost? If you see a company, say a company in like 2020 has 3 billion revenue, right? Let me give an example of, like, say you, okay, in 2020 you had a business. Let's say you and your friend are really good at fixing cell phones. You have a business where you and you even have staff. People go in trucks to people's homes. They give them a cell phone. They fix it, and they charge like whatever for it. So you and your friend are really good at fixing cell phones. So you decide to like separate, so you're not taking each other's business. So you're in, like, say, Northern California, and your friend's in Southern California, so there's no chance. And so it's, say both of you have $1 million of revenue, right? But then you're in 2021, say you have 1.5 million, and your friend has 10 million. Now, is that, like, is it guaranteed that your friend is doing better just by looking at revenue? It appears that way, right? But what if your friend's father, right? He's a really rich guy, and he gave your friend money to acquire 2 other companies, like 2 other competing companies that fix cell phones. So he spent, you know, like, just say, like, he spent 10 million to acquire these 2 companies. So the fact that he spent so much to take over those companies, would you still say your friend's doing a lot better than you? Maybe not, because he might be in debt for a long time, even though it was his father's money. It's hard to explain, but, like, because I was looking at, and it's because I was looking at some companies that had really, like, their revenue went up a lot, like from like 2 billion to 10 billion. It was it, Yeah, Cleveland Cliffs. I mean, it went from 5 billion to 20 billion. And the reason it went up so much is because they acquired a few companies. So then you have to think about, like, if if you grow organically, you're probably doing well. If you grow a lot organically, like Apple does, because if you look on Apple's balance sheet, they don't have any goodwill. It's all the acquisitions they paid fair value. So if you if you if you if you have to pay someone to get revenue, then maybe, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's possible that you're not doing that well. Like, you're not profitable, or it may take you longer to become profitable. It depends how much you paid for that company. It's a little confusing, but it's hard to think about, like, how do you know if you overpaid for a company or not? It you have to look at your revenue before you bought the company and after, and your cash flow before and after. But there's other things going on, so it could get really confusing. When you see the video on Cleveland Cliffs, you'll see what it means when I mention it. But 22% dividend. Like, people who are new to investing, they see that and they really think they can get 22%. But that's the past, right? That's not what they're going to pay in the future. It's unlikely they're going to pay that in the future. Yield curve for Zim? Oh, if you sign up to Simply Wall Street, use my code and I get a percentage. If you sign up for Simply Wall Street for, like, one of the 6-month plans, or well, they don't have the yield curve in here. Does anybody own Zim? They ship what do they ship? Like coal and iron ore, mainly. Container shipping. Yeah, there's a lot of money in shipping. I can't remember what they ship, but I think it's probably the deglobalization happening will dampen shipping. I meant invert, not inverse. Yeah, WTRH has to do a reverse stock split to stay above $1, so they don't get delisted. I don't think it. I wouldn't say it's a good thing. They just have to do it. But oh, it's up. It was down to 30 cents. Maybe I should have got it at 30 cents. It's going to come right back down. people look at the stock and say, oh my God, it was over $12. I can get it for under 50 cents. Well, I guess everything has gone up, right, the past few days. Yeah, it's crazy how high the revenue was. Um, so they have 113 vessels. Oh, okay. It delivers LNG. LNG. It's hard. It's so hard to transport stuff like oil and gas. Like, because anybody can transport like a couch or like a table or a phone. Anybody can do that, right? But it's such a specialized type of vessel to transport oil and natural gas. Um, what's the index to? There's an index to track the prices of shipping companies. Okay, so the Baltic Dry is for bulk carriers. The Drury is the index for container shipping rates, and Harpex is for leasing the actual container ships. What's the what's the index for tracking? This is what's confusing, because then when you look at these rates, sometimes it's way different than what the company charges. So it gets. Look at the Baltic Dry Index. These are like the shipping rates for like 20 like 20 kind of like shipping routes. And look how much it came up in 2021. So you could see from 2009 to or 2008 maybe to 2020, it's like it was so low shipping rates. So for 12 years they were getting crushed. And then it went up like it tripled right it tripled right in the beginning of 2021. That's due to the supply chain, right? The supply chain was freezing up, and all the shipping companies charge more. But that's crazy. Look at how it was in 2007 and 8. Because it's like it's kind of like an airline. If they charge, say, $300 per ticket, and that's like their break even point. And then if demand gets to, if there's just a lot of airlines, and there's oversupply of airlines, then they can't charge 300, so they charge 250, and so they're losing money. But could you imagine, like, rates skyrocket to like 1,000? Then they're making tons of money. That's kind of like what happened in like 07, 08, to a lesser degree in 2021. So you just have to track these rates to try to figure out the shipping companies. But what's confusing is they lock in rates sometimes for years. But that's pretty much why I think that's why the stock has been going up so much for companies like Zim. Because for a while it was fairly low, then shot up. It even paid for us. I mean, bonds, I think I probably wouldn't buy a bond. If you're concerned, if you don't want to like risk losing any money, if you're retired too, a bond may work. Zim is the biggest shipping company, right? Zim is the biggest, then MATX. Starbulk is 3 billion market cap. But I don't know. I don't see, rates are coming back down. So that's really how they make money. If, say, this is the break even point, like 2605, say that's break even, they may be forced to charge less, because it's like an airline. They're not going to leave the plane empty. So they just want to minimize their losses. Because if they charge below 300 a seat, they lose money, but they have to charge 250 a seat or they don't get any business. So they charge 250. So it's the same thing with these shipping companies. Once rates get high, and it's usually based on the number of ships in the market. Once there's a lot of ships in the market, then the rates start coming down. But once companies start scrapping ships and there's less supply of ships, rates go up. Does anybody think there's going to be a big drop in the market, like Richard's saying? There was a big drop, right, in March 2020. We had a big drop, then it came up. We had a small drop, but it's kind of like it's like in July 2018 there was a drop, but it wasn't too bad. Then it went up, then a small drop. So, and then we had the massive drop. So will we have another massive drop? Come on. I This is the Great Recession. It went. So if you invested in September 2007 and then you held out for 6 years, you could have been flat. Or if you invested in 2000 and you waited 23 years, you could have been flat on your investment if you sold here. So hopefully you guys picked up. But even if you bought here and here, you're still up. If you hold out, it will keep going up. Unless you're like 75 years old, you may not want to risk, because it may take a few decades to get back up there, depending on when you buy it. Hey, Mike, thanks a lot. Would you get penalized for selling the bond before maturity? Okay, let's do another raffle. Chintu. Okay. We're on a shopping cycle, but the backlogs are getting shorter. Okay. 8. 26. That doesn't count. 12. It only counts if I'm in this box and I click it. If I'm anywhere else, it doesn't count. 9. Jin. Dadis. So if you win, Dadis, make sure you email me. So Dadis won. Did anybody see that stocks C Limited? Does anybody know why this happens? Oh, it got fixed. I thought it went up like 10%, like the last trade of the day on Friday. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like C Limited, there was a huge spike on the last trade. And I think it came right back down. But it must have been fixed. Or maybe it was an error. How do you invest on red days? Like, do you just hold cash and wait for a red day? Or do you sell out of certain stocks and buy other stocks? Oh, I had an interview the other day. Um, because I wish I had cash coming in so I can invest on. So I was looking for like So anyway, so I sent my resume and on an interview because they watch my YouTube videos, and I never got so much praise on an interview. Like it was just funny. They were like, um, well, they thought I was overqualified, so I don't think I'm gonna get it. But it was the Baltic Price Index equals shipping price charts. Do you not use the Baltic Dry Index? Because sometimes I look at the sometimes you look at the rate of I can't remember. There was a video I did. I forgot what it was. Something like a lithium miner, or I can't remember what, but like the rates in the market were so different than the rates this company bought like the metal at. Oh, no, not they didn't buy. They have an auction. I actually emailed the company. They do an auction every quarter and sell like I can't remember what it was. If it was lithium or I think it was lithium. What's a popular commodity? Maybe it wasn't lithium. But yeah, but the rates were like 4 times as high than what the rates were in the market. ESG. ESG is just such a like a blanket term. It's like it almost has lost meaning. ESG stocks. It's kind of like organic, like saying these products are organic. Like it's just like what does that even mean anymore? Copper. Was it copper? I don't think it was copper. Uh, It was some metal. It was like a weird metal. Like that's like I'm not used to seeing. Solus. Did they ever? I did a video on them, and I'm not gonna think. CSCW. Color Star Technology. 50 million market cap. Yeah, uranium. I was thinking about uranium. Maybe it was for uranium. Cameco. I thought it was a really small company. I'm looking at my email. You should have had Kate on this week. Yeah, I got to get Kate back. I don't know if she wants to come back. Maybe she does. Let's see. She has a good amount of subs too. She's not that small. A lot of the people I've had are really small, like a few hundred subs. She doesn't do that many videos. Only 3 a month in the past month. Well, she has a job too, so. Investing in bad companies at great prices. Didn't Peter Lynch talk about investing in good companies at good prices? I guess you can invest in any company if they're trading at a good price, but most value investors look for good companies trading at discounts, like Alibaba. Like that was an example of a good company trading at a discount because of the fear the Chinese government would interfere. You're doing the opposite of ESG, like BlackRock dumps coal stocks because ESG, but coal has been going up. Do you do after market weekday shows? I did it that 1 week, but sometimes I'm just bored. I have a lot of free time though, but after I do a video, I'm like, I feel like I ran a marathon. I'm like I just want to be done with YouTube. I think I'm going to start studying for the CFA again. I'm going to try to complete my CFA because I have a lot of free time. So if you guys want to learn, because I learned much more about the stock market than anything else by going through the CFA books. That's really good if you want to learn about the market. Even if you don't take the exam, you learn it's almost impossible not to learn. But you have to apply it like what we're doing. You have to kind of like look at like annual reports, look at that stuff. But it'll be a good refresher because there's a lot of things on the CFA I forgot or I don't really use much of. But yeah, we need to try to figure out how to identify a really undervalued stock or a stock that's has a ton of upside, like or it's hard. Even I have a hard time. Like I feel like sometimes I'm like I'm onto something, and then the stock tanks. So it's just keeping it simple. Invest in good companies and hold them for a long time. That's the only thing that's really made money for me. I have made money like identifying things and like picking a stock before others do, but it's so far in between. It's not that common. Now I hate reading books. I get so bored. Like I fall asleep. I wish I read more books, but I think once I go through the CFA stuff again, I'll there'll be some things I'll pick up again that I forgot. Actually, I didn't make it to Vancouver. I couldn't get on the I couldn't get I was having too much difficulty even getting on a plane because they didn't accept my vaccination information. Not the vaccinate. I needed to show proof I didn't have COVID, and they wouldn't accept it. And they wanted me to pay like $500 on to get it retested at the airport, and I didn't want to do it. So, but I did get a refund from the hotel. Gave me a refund, a full refund. But of course, the airline, which wouldn't let me get on the plane, Air Canada, they wouldn't give me a refund. So I kind of lost out there. Yeah, that's Warren Buffett. They don't even refund me. I was so annoyed. Yeah, that's a good TJS Kelly. You see, these are kind of things like there's so many things and you forget about like exactly like when there's a big scandal. It's like if there's a big scandal with like Google or Facebook and the stock tanks, but you know it's going to go right back up because they're great companies. But sometimes you have to hold. Like Alibaba, I don't know if it's going to continue going up. Like, of course, it come right back down, but I have a feeling we hit the bottom. I think with Alibaba, I think I didn't think it could get below 100, and it got down to like um, um, so it was a painful ride down. I know a lot of people who bought it like at 200 or 150, and they were down like 60, 70%. But it almost traded. It was back to its IPO level, and it almost traded as all-time low. It was getting to that point. It wasn't quite there yet. But I have a feeling the fact that the Chinese government said they're not going to interfere or delist the stock, they're going to let them keep trading. I think that should give people comfort. There is two things that are up in the air. There's if they start a war with Taiwan, that could bring the stock back down, or if they aid Russia in the war, if they help Russia, that could hurt the stock too, because the U.S. said there's going to be sanctions on China if they aid Russia. $80. Wow, you got Alibaba at 80. That's great. I'm so upset. I swear, like right before, like when it was in the mid 70s, the day before it shot up, I was all set to put a big order in, because I would have made up all my gains. I would have made all my losses from like Facebook and other stocks, but I got too scared. but you get upset like, oh, I should have did this. But there's so many times like I was gonna put a lot more into Facebook, like a couple months ago, and I didn't because I was like I felt it was too much. So if I put as much as I wanted to in Facebook, I would have been down a lot more than I am now. So you only you get annoyed when you don't make the right move when it benefits you, but you forget when you made the good move that it would have hurt you. VWAP, wait, VWAP. You mean DWAC? Are you talking about DWAC? You mean you talk about Trump's company? There's no VWAP. Kate doesn't want to come back. Is that what she said? I'll email her. Oh, I got okay. The indicator. Okay. I don't really look at that. There's so many things to look at. I can't even keep track of everything. I think if you can pull it up on here. Ehong. I did a video on Ehong. I think that looked good. I can't remember that well, but I thought it looked interesting. Well, the trailing 12 months is lower. Revenue has really been coming down. Wait, Ehong, they do flying cars, right? Um, they're a they it's a taxi service. It's a flying taxi service, right? Ehong. SoFi. I'm not. I don't really like. I think it's a little too risky. I don't know. I don't know. It's a SPAC too, so. Oh, it's not a SPAC. I thought it was SPAC. Wait. Oh, it's not a SPAC. But they did get that bank charter, right? SoFi got that bank charter, so that's big for this company. Although the stock kept going down even after they got the charter. Baba is trading below its total WAP for a profitable company. It's a good sign to buy. Right. I'm sure like a lot of signs, if you forget about the fact that it's a Chinese company, I'm sure a lot of signs point to buy. If management best positions. How do you guys check management? Like, I know Warren Buffett says he looks at the management of the company, and he uses that as that's an important tool for him to invest. But how do you know? Like, if you ever read about the management of a company, it always sounds like they're great. They say such great things about the management. How do you know if they're actually not good? unless you actually know of that person, but it's. Have you looked at Stone Co? I don't think is that the company? There's no financials on this company. Oh no, there is. Wait, why didn't I do a video on Stone Co? What? STNE. Huh. Oh, let me add that because there was a reason I can't remember. I thought there was a reason I couldn't do it. Oh, it's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's right here. Yeah. I should do that in a week or so. But right now I have 70K on a single stock, Arizona Metals. One day it's gonna really click, and then we're gonna all be really rich. I can't figure out how to like identify a really big run up right before it happens. It's gonna happen. Arizona Metals. It's a Canadian company. But this is okay. This is a junior minor, Arizona Metals. Yeah, these are. A junior minor is a company that mines. It's looking for their pre revenue companies. They're looking for locations that have gold or copper. I don't know why. We sound finally. What do they mine? Arizona Metals. If it's under $1 billion market cap, it's a junior miner. Wisana, it's kind of. I think that's a little too risky. Wisana, this guy who played professional hockey, he started this company. Something. Did I freeze up? This is so slow. I don't know why it's so slow. Analysis. So I guess it's kind of like anything. It could work, or this situations where it's going to work, and other situations where it's going to be way off. I guess if you combine it with other things, like if you use technical analysis and maybe learning more things using different whatever, You could do DCF. You can do price multiples. I guess if you combine it with other things, it can't hurt. Yeah, Wisana, it was started by a professional hockey player. He got a lot of concussions. So it's what is it like? What it, it's like mushrooms, like this that ingredient that's used. It's psychedelic drugs, psychedelic medicine to help people um, who are injured or sick. Because he claims it was a lifesaver. He had so many concussions and was in so much pain, and it's up a lot since the bottom, but it's pretty risky stuff. I mean, it trades OTC. Does anybody use technical analysis? I don't use it much. I don't really get it. I understand what the things mean, but I don't see how that helps you. I think looking at the cash flows of the company is the best information. Equinox. Richard, what do you use? What TA indicators do you use that's helpful? The thing with these gold companies is if you look at the price of gold, it pretty much moves with the price of gold. So you could buy a gold mining company, or you could just invest in GLD. But if there's like any issues in the world, like a war, inflation, if there's any conflicts going on, then you'd want to own gold and oil. Those are safe, are definitely safe investments. But I think it's okay to hedge your hedge your portfolio, because if stuff goes down, it's nice to have like a hedge like gold or oil. So not everything's going down, because everything in my portfolio is down except my oil. Pretty much. So this is gold for the past 5 years. And let's and EQX. It's not lined up. Oh, that's why, because it's not 5 years for EQX. Doesn't really look like that chart. This is gold on top. Gold is performing a lot better than EQX. This is odd. What's in What's a good gold stock to look at? What's a good maybe I wonder why it doesn't track gold. Let's see gold. So this is Barrick Gold. So this, you see this, it looks it's much closer to gold, right? Much closer to gold than EQX. So it's 2017. You can see it's kind of sideways for a while. Then in 2019, it peaks and then it comes down a little. But it looks like Barrick has come down a lot more from the peak. But when you invest in a company that, like a gold mining company, or they may do other products, not just gold, and you also, there's a risk of the management doing a poor job. So it could be just safer to invest in gold, GLD, than a company, unless that company pays a dividend, a nice dividend. So then maybe it's worth it too. And I think it does pay a little dividend. So gold should come down. I mean, most commodities are trading at pretty high prices. I would imagine we're going to start to see some declines. But who knows when that's going to happen? Because it's kind of like that game I was showing you. If I flip over a queen, what are the odds it's a king or ace coming up next? You probably want to go lower. But if you own gold, like a Barrick Gold, like, in this range, when the gold was trading like between 700 and 1200, your cost basis is low, so there's no reason to sell unless you just want to buy something else, collect your dividends, and you have a low cost basis. But if you get it up here, you're pretty much, unless it's a new record, you're probably not going to be making, even for the dividend, you're probably better off waiting. I guess it's kind of like refinancing your house. If you own gold up here, yeah, that's why I don't like buying commodities, because it's kind of like you either got to time it right, or you're kind of, you can't really make much money. Gold stocks are predicting that Ukraine war will end. can't remember what that commodity was. Uranium. Oh, if you're a member of my Patreon, like I'll send out an Excel file with the link to all my videos. Palladium. I don't think there's a is platinum even a category. I guess if you sell palladium or platinum or rhodium or what's the other one? It's hard to say the other one. Platinum metals. It's like it's iridium. Iridium, is that how you say it? Rhodium, palladium. I never even saw osmium. I'm not even sure what that is. Or ruthenium. I never see that. But pretty much all these platinum are almost, especially like palladium and rhodium, it's pretty much used just in cars. Like for the catalytic converter, almost all of that metal is used in catalytic converters. And those are for ICE cars, internal combustion engine cars. So we're still making those. I don't think they're going away, but I'm saying maybe in 100 years, you don't want to buy rhodium. Tell your great grandkids, don't buy rhodium or palladium because there's no too many junk uranium stocks. Uranium is the next big move, really? Everything sounds great when you read about it. Like the next, we can't live without uranium. But they're up a lot, right? I thought I saw UEC was up a lot. Or maybe not. See, it's like there's nothing wrong with investing in a commodity, but you see, you can't really. It doesn't go up over time. Like it's so like up and down. I'm not saying every stock goes up over time, but if it's a good stock, it can go up over time. If it's a good company, like Google, it has that possibility. Like it's impossible for gold to go up like that over time. It can't happen. Because if gold ever got to like so gold is like what, 1,800 an ounce. If gold say it went crazy, it went up to 3,000 an ounce, then everybody would be making gold. It would just be like And there's a lot of gold or anything, oil that can be pulled that just won't be pulled because it's too expensive. Like the only way, like oil has to break $200 a barrel in order for certain locations. Like oil is sitting in a lot of places that people just won't touch because it costs so much money to extract it from that location. Like it's just not worth it. But if oil went up to $400 a barrel, like everybody would be like, people like these companies would be investing so much money and employing so many more people to pull as much oil as they can. And then of course the price comes down when it happens. Can't you make like most commodities now? Can't they artificially make them? I don't know. Gold is always profitable if you hold it long term. No, I just showed you how that's not true. I guess if you hold it for 100 years, maybe. But if you buy it over 1,500 an ounce, like it's just. I mean, could you imagine getting it here for 1,500? You have to wait years. Space mining will crush all commodity prices. Teledoc. I did a video on Teledoc. Maybe Teledoc. That's been really struggling. Wow. If a currency is only gold, I guess if gold started backing the US dollar like it was, it would probably go up again. Yeah, so if that's true, maybe you should all buy gold. Let's just invest everything in gold. IVR, yeah, it's really look at it's down so much. I forgot, I didn't even mention my IVR video. What's the book value? The book value is 1.4 billion. Well, it's two times the market cap. That's a lot. I wonder what. So it's really undervalued. What's another mortgage REIT? What's another mortgage REIT? Like IVR. I guess this is quicker. AGNC. Let me just try. Its price to book is below 1. So price to book is the most important indicator when looking at like a bank or a mortgage REIT or insurance company. Price to book. I wish they gave. Oh yeah, it was. I remember when I did the IVR video. They were really, their price to book was the best of all the companies. Yeah, now I remember. Look at that price to book. 0.5. That's crazy. I mean, of all the, that's the best price to book of the top 20 companies. The So do you know what, like, so it's like, if my house was, if my house was $1 million, the loan was, that's like a 0.5 price to book. If my home was worth $1 million and the loan was 500,000. And then Annalise 0.8. Why would anybody invest in Annalie? That's like saying, and Starwood is even worse. Why would anybody invest in Annalie? Obviously, more people are investing in Annalie because the market cap is 10 billion, and Invesco is, it's under $1 billion. It's that low. Yeah, it's under $1 billion. But when we look at 0.5 includes the debt. 0.5 is assets minus liabilities. It's inclusive of debt. That just indicates that investors have no faith in the garbage that IVR has. The assets, they're indicating, even though they're saying the home is $1 million, and the loan is 500,000. Even though they're saying that, investors don't think the home can sell for $1 million, pretty much. Because if they did, they would eat this up and they would push the price up to point closer to 1, like Annalie is. So that's how crappy the assets are, or at least the investors feel the assets are garbage, because they're not willing to they're only paying half of the value. Okay, Ed, I'll see you. But maybe we should look at the assets again. But yeah, I think we're in overtime now. So you're selling puts on IVR, so you're bullish. When you sell puts, that means you're bullish. Why do you buy call options? Oh, you want to buy the stock, so you're selling puts so you can pick up the stock if it goes down. I mean, if it goes down. Yes, Citigroup. I noticed that too. It's crazy. That's how often does Citigroup trade at 70% of book value? But are you waiting? You might have to wait a while. Like, if you're willing to wait a few years, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna sign off. I think we're definitely in overtime. Should I do them during the week? Should I do these during the week? Maybe I'll start doing it again after hours. Okay, I'll see you. I'll try to do a live stream during the week on Monday. Okay, have a good night.